And from one shipstorm to another, it was exactly 43 years ago today, the Israeli military attacked and killed more than 30 men on board a research vessel. But this time the casualties weren't a smorgasbord of people from all over the world. They were men from Israel's biggest ally, the United States. And they were military men. Here to join us, RT's Jehan Hafiz. Jehan, take it away.
That's right, Cedric. It happened 43 years ago to this date, June 8, 1967. And the survivors of the USS Liberty are demanding a congressional investigation into what happened, an acknowledgement that the Israeli Air Force bombed a U.S. intelligence Navy ship. Let's take a look at what took place today at the Arlington National Cemetery.
Still betrayed by our government and for the cover-up, and the Israeli government for covering it up.
Before Israeli commandos shot 9 peace activists to death aboard the Mavi Marmara, 34 American military men were killed by Israeli jet fighter planes. It happened in 1967 during the Six-Day War, and it became an event these men and women would live with for the rest of their lives. This is usually the scene of sorrow and pain, and amongst these headstones is a hidden chapter in American history. And every year, the survivors of the USS Liberty and the family members of the victims come here to commemorate the tragic events that took place 43 years ago.
It's an honor for me to get a chance to honor them at least once a year.
It's not anger, it's sadness, great sadness that not only a close ally deliberately attacked this ship, but that the United States kind of sat by and allowed it to happen.
For 40 years, survivors of the USS Liberty, sworn under oath, were forbidden to tell their stories. But today, the surviving crewmen talk candidly about the dreadful day they nearly lost their lives.
Prepared to abandon ship. We couldn't even open the hatch up because they were shooting at us so bad. There was no place to go. They shot the life rafts. If we had to go into the water, there would have probably been no survivors.
Jim Smith was aboard the Liberty when it was bombed for over 2 hours by the Israeli Air Force.
The Israelis claimed it was a mistaken identity, and the United States government bought that explanation. I'm saying a mistaken identity does not allow you sufficient time to shoot all the antennas, to shoot the 4 gun tubs that we had, and to strafe the bridge. If it's a mistaken identity, then you don't know what you're looking at.
As the years drag on, the anniversary never gets any easier.
There's nothing, medicine, booze, nothing takes it away. It's just something you have to live with.
The tale of the USS Liberty became a story of courage and betrayal, a gaping wound eating away at the survivors. As another year passes by without a congressional investigation, the survivors wonder if justice will ever come their way, hoping with uncertainty that one day Israel will face harsh penalties for killing American citizens in an event many claim was a cover-up. Jehan Hafiz, RT, Washington, D.C.
RT's Jehan Hafiz to be on the firing line with us now. Jehan, you said in that story that the survivors wonder if justice will ever come their way. So there's a lot of questions as to whether the right conclusion was come about from this investigation, or the investigation that came about a while ago. There are still a lot of questions in the minds of those survivors who you spoke with. What exactly do they want in terms of whether it's an investigation or another look or some sort of apology? What exactly do those survivors want from Israel or the United States to make them feel better about the incident in which they are a part of?
Well, they want a bit of everything you just mentioned. They definitely want an apology, but they want a thorough congressional investigation. The one that did take place a couple of decades ago did come out to be a farce. It was led by John McCain's father, Colonel John McCain, and essentially all evidence was thrown out. And in fact, a lot of the people I interviewed in that story were threatened by that same interrogation team, or the group that was looking into it, to keep their stories to themselves. But, you know, aside from that, they would like a chapter in history books. A lot of Americans do not know what happened to these men in 1967. They don't know that that Israeli jet fighter planes attacked an American ship. And as I mentioned in the package, in the story, it was 2 hours of bombardment of a torpedo. And the survivors say that there were American flags flying. So there's a lot of details, and there's still a lot of survivors to this. And as you saw, they're aged aging. So when they die, the witnesses are gone, and they want their story to live on. They want acknowledgement, and that's why they were at the Arlington National Cemetery today, to commemorate their suffering and their loss, but also to mention their betrayal and their anger towards the U.S. government for siding with Israel on this issue.
Archie's Jahan Hafiz wrapping it up for us today. Thank you, Jahan.